Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Neeraj Periwal. I'm the Product Marketing Manager here at eFolder and your host for today's event. Welcome to the eFolder Partner Chat Series. This webinar series brings together leading eFolder partners for business-oriented discussions. Today, we're going to talk about how to get started on the right foot with BDR, Backup and Disaster Recovery. Today, we're joined by Jeff Willems, President of Computer Rescue, located in the heart of Texas. Now, before I go into today's agenda, let me first cover a few housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded. The recorded version of our webinar will be made available on eFolder's YouTube channel. We're also going to make copies of the slides available to everyone who registered for the event. With over 100 people registered for today's session, we put all participants in listen-only mode. You can enjoy the audio portion of today's event by streaming on your computer or by dialing in over the phone. Questions are strongly encouraged throughout today's session. We've planned a special Q&A section, but you may submit your questions as we go along in the question queue, and we'll try to address them on the fly. Today's presentation follows a logical flow. After introducing our partner, Jeff, we're going to go into kind of the factors you need to consider when in order to choose the right BDR solution and when deploying it. We're then going to briefly compare four of eFolder's main BDR solutions before diving right into a partner discussion with Jeff, talking about his experience with eFolder BDR Subject and how it's helped Computer Rescue and his MSP. And kind of his advice in terms of what to do and what not to do when deploying a BDR solution. We're again going to briefly talk about how to sell and market BDR before going into questions and discussion. So let's go ahead and introduce our partner, Jeff. Jeff, why don't you go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about you and Computer Rescue.
Well, we've been around for a long time, 26 years. We've morphed into several variations over the years, and now we're a very comfortable managed service provider and have been since 2005. And BDR is a big part of our offerings in that space.
Awesome. So, yeah, it seems like you've been around for a long time. How long have you been offering BDR as a service?
Well, we've actually been offering it in different flavors for probably four or 5 years now, but the eFolder product with Shadow Protect is the one that's really been the hit. So all of our employees have grasped onto it, and our customers get it right away, and so it's and fully compliant, and that's the big thing. And that was the problem with the other variations we had. We were always worried about compliance issues and worried about, what if we actually had to use this thing and it not work. So with the eFolder, with the Shadow Protect, we've been Shadow Protect partners for years and years, and we know that product's rock solid. And with the eFolder combination, it's just been a great product for us.
Cool, awesome. And are you guys a fully managed services shop, or do you do break fix as well, or what?
Well, we're probably half and half. Unfortunately, since we've been around 26 years, we have a lot of legacy break fix customers that it's hard to turn away at this point. But we more as time goes by, we're more, much higher percentage managed services than we are break fix, and at some point we'll be fully managed service.
Awesome. Okay. Well, great to know, and we'll get into our partner discussion very shortly. But Jeff, thank you so much again for being here and sharing your expertise with the audience.
My pleasure.
Cool. So let's see here. So I'd like to briefly go over a little bit about what we're all about here at eFolder, and we kind of call this our vision for the open cloud. So we know that SMB needs are rapidly evolving. 5 years ago, things like file sync were all new and relatively few small businesses even knew that they needed it. And now, of course, you see products like eFolder Anchor really blowing up in the marketplace because so many MSPs are convincing their clients of the need to have file sync. So that's just one example of how SMB needs are rapidly changing. We've got growing data sets, and so all these things require IT managed services that can kind of meet the different and evolving needs of clients, including rapid backup and disaster recovery. And so what we've done at eFolder is we've partnered with the five major makers out there of imaging software. So Acronis, Dell with Aperture, Replevent, Veeam, and StorageCraft with ShadowDetect. And what we do is we basically provide an all-in-one solution where if you have the actual imaging software installed, you can then pair that with eFolder and our cloud and have a robust offsite backup for all of your imaged backups for all of your clients. And the eFolder cloud is what makes that possible. So we've got storage, compute, resources to ensure that you're able to do everything that you would expect from a comprehensive BDR solution. So let's quickly dive into choosing the right BDR solution. How should you go about it? And so what we've done is here is we kind of put together a summary of 4 of our most popular BDR solutions, and we'll go through them one by one and quickly go through the key features so you guys have a little background into what we offer before we go into that part of the discussion. So the first one up is eFolder BDR for Replevent. Key features here are chain-free backup technology. So for those of you who have struggled with backup chains and been worried about, oh shoot, what happens if one of the backups is corrupted? Is that going to affect, all the backups after that? So with chain-free backup technology, you don't have to worry about that. Replevent offers automated testing and screenshot verification, so you can ensure that everything is working correctly. Extensive data verification checks. Really deep integration with ConnectWise. So if you use that as your PSA tool, you'll be able to get a lot of alerting and monitoring through ConnectWise. It is hardware agnostic, and it comes with its own Linux OS, so that reduces the total cost of ownership. So with Replevent, you don't have to go out and buy Windows and have all of the package that comes with that. So what is BDR for Replevent ideal for? Partners who rely on ConnectWise for ticketing and monitoring and support. Ideal for MSPs and want a simple deploy, easy to manage BDR solution, and just want to manage everything from a single pane of glass. And of course, with the lack of chain dependency, you've got a lower overall storage footprint in the cloud and more reliability. Now let's go through, so I'm going through these as quickly as I can because I really want to get to our part of the discussion. But let's go over BDR for Acronis. BDR for Acronis offers flexible deployment options. So we've got single server deployment or the traditional, back on multiple servers onto a single BDR appliance and send that up to the cloud. And if you want a BDR appliance, we're more than happy to sell you one, or you can go with your favorite vendor out there, whether it's Dell or HP or Lenovo, or you want to build your own or repurpose an old BDR appliance. We kind of let you do whatever you're most comfortable with. BDR for Acronis offers both file level and image-based backup, so it's really whatever your clients are in need of. We've got global deduplication and forever incremental dedupe aware replication. The benefit here is being able to save on that cloud storage footprint by only sending to the cloud, what has changed since the last backup. And we've got separate on and off-site retention again, letting you save on cloud storage, and agentless virtual backups on both VMware and Hyper-V. So whichever virtualization method you choose, you can still do agentless virtual backups. What is BDR for Acronis ideal for? Ideal for partners who want deduplication over the wire, so they can save bandwidth. MSPs who need global deduplication, both locally and in the cloud. And clients who may benefit from both image-based and file-level backup. And different clients have different needs, and with Acronis, we try to give partners the flexibility to match up with their clients. And different backup jobs for local backups versus in the cloud. So again, save on storage space and managing what's in the cloud and what's stored locally. BDR for Subtech is the solution that Jeff and many other partners have adopted. And so here are the main features of BDR for Subtech. As I mentioned with Acronis, numerous flexible deployment options. We've got cross-site replication, deep RMM integration. For example, we integrate deeply with LabTech. Subtech can be deployed with or without a BDR appliance, so you can do a single server backup or traditional full BDR appliance type backup. Extensive chain management and verification, and ability to restore to dissimilar hardware. And really, when you look at how popular Subtech is overall in the BDR marketplace, I think it's very clear to many, many MSPs out there how reliable BDR or Subtech is, and therefore how valuable it is to have a complete end-to-end BDR solution. So eFolder BDR Subtech is ideal for partners who have used Subtech for other solutions. There's a little to no learning curve. Again, we know how popular Subtech has been and continues to be in the MSP space. And so, we offer that because we know so many people are comfortable with it. It's ideal for MSPs who need integration with Autotask and or ConnectWise for supporting and ticketing. We really want to integrate with the main PSA tools out there. And Subtech, doesn't right now offer instant virtualization. So for those clients who don't need near instant virtualization, BDR Subtech is a good option. And finally, last but not least, is eFolder BDR for Veeam. So Veeam is all about image-based backup and replication for virtual machines. So we've got multiple recovery options, generous cloud storage, point-and-click configuration, comprehensive reporting and integration, the ability to restore to dissimilar hardware, and support for Microsoft Hyper-V and VMware. So whichever hypervisor you use and you want to back up, eFolder BDR for Veeam will let you do that. Ideal for partners who have high costs associated with backups and making sure that they have offsite backups for their virtualized environment. MSPs who, again, need to protect virtualized data in the cloud, utilizing reliable virtual machines, and consistent uptime. So now that we've kind of gone through all the main BDR solutions that eFolder offers, what are some deployment factors and considerations when it comes to BDR? So a few of these here, and Jeff, you're more than welcome to chime in, but a few that we thought of are what BDR solutions are your techs most familiar with? Obviously, when you adopt a new solution, you want to reduce the amount of time and labor that you have to invest in deploying it. So talking to your techs and figuring out what they're comfortable with is a really important factor. Another thing to consider is how much data do your clients have and how much do they need to back up? Because, for example, if they need to back up a lot of data, but maybe they don't need a lot of it backed up to the cloud, and only really to store some of it in the cloud and a lot of it on site, and something like different on and off site retention policies will come in handy. Also need to consider what applications and servers specifically need to be backed up. Um, and finally, what are different client RTO and RPO requirements? Because that'll go into which BDR solution you deploy and how you deploy it. Jeff, do you have anything to add to these factors and considerations?
Well, I think the first point, what is your staff most familiar with and comfortable with is a huge factor. We've been to the Shadow Protect schools. We were, a committed Shadow Protect partner, and so it just made sense that that's the one we ran with, and because we already know how it works, and it works, as you said, the same way in the cloud as it does locally. So it was perfect for us.
Cool. And did you find that, like, based on the amount of data that your clients have to back up, did that play a role in determining which BDR solution you adopted?
Well, so most of our customers are SMB, so they're going to have servers, in the 500 gig to 2 terabyte range. The great thing about eFolder is that you get a 2 terabyte limit per customer, and you actually can pool that data. So if you get a customer that actually goes over the 2 terabyte limit, you're not getting dinged for excess storage fees and stuff like that, it's really cool because if you have several customers up there, chances of you going over the 2 terabytes in a pool is in an SMB space is just not going to happen. So.
Right. Yeah, that's a point. Awesome. Great. Well, let's go ahead and dive into kind of why everybody is here today, a part of the discussion. We really want to hear you, Jeff, and hear what you have to share. And everybody, questions are more than welcome for Jeff and for me, so please feel free to chime in. But kind of the first question I have for you, Jeff, is why did you initially choose to start using ShubCheck to back up your client's data?
Well, we were looking for an image backup. We saw the Acronis's out there, we saw the Carbonites and all that stuff. But Shadow Protect has a really good support for their partners, and they started paying attention to us from the beginning, and so we like their technology, and it's just been, and I mean, we've literally been a Shadow Protect partner for maybe 5 years now, so it's been a rock solid product for us for on-premise backups, and it hasn't failed us once, and it's just been a great product for us.
Cool, great. So, you obviously had ShubCheck, you knew it, you loved it, you trusted it. So what was the point at which you said, you know what, we need to add an offsite cloud component to our backup strategy?
Well, I think, if you're a serious MSP, you almost have to have this product in your lineup. First, just because of compliance with, anybody that's under HIPAA requirements, they're required to have an offsite backup. If you have anybody SOX compliance, any kind of people dealing with securities, they have to have offsite backup. So, if you have different customers, you're going to run into this. And then it's just another product you can add in your MSP product lineup that gives that stickiness with the customer. That one more thing, why they're going to stick with you for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And did any of your clients, when you presented BDR ShubCheck to them, were any of them like, I'm not sure if I need a cloud backup, or were they, pretty eager to get on board?
I think you can price it so reasonably these days that, I mean, anybody that any business person that you really want to deal with, if they can't afford an offsite backup for their, and it doesn't make sense to them, I would question their business capabilities, because it's just it just makes so much sense that wow, you can, the business continuity aspect of, wow, I can protect my entire business for a cost of less than, far less than my electric bill. I mean, who wouldn't do that? So it just makes a lot of sense. So
yeah. And was there ever? I mean, I know you adopted the cloud solution from us about 6 months ago. Was there ever like a turning point, or a client incident that made you immediately be like, oh shoot, we really need this now? Or was it more kind of a gradual, like, oh, the times are changing, that type of thing?
well, so what we were looking for, we'd actually been doing some of this ourselves in our own data center, but we started thinking about it that gee whiz, first, the compliance issues. There's no way that a small MSP like us can be compliant with all the HIPAA and the SOX compliance and all that stuff. So you have to have a partner that can do that, and there's not a lot of them out there that are rock solid. We did our due diligence on eFolder, and you guys just kept coming up as being rock solid guys that are super dependable, super good service, and so that's why we chose you. But we'd fooled around with cloud backup for a while, but now it's pretty much we lead with this product now. We certainly we probably have 150 managed service customers, and we're pretty much have committed to get every single one of those on a cloud backup. And then our new customers, when we're talking to a new customer, we lead with this product. I mean, we actually come in, and the first thing we want to know is, how are you doing your backups? What are you doing there? What are you doing to protect your business? And then we turn that discussion into to some of the other pain points they're having, but it just sticks in their mind. Wow, these guys are going to protect me. So.
Got it. Yeah, that's a really interesting point you brought up. That I think the most effective MSPs, who are able to sell BDR to clients, are really all about emphasizing protection. This is something like an insurance policy where you're going to regret not having it. So even if you may not understand 100% exactly how it works, it's something where if you don't have it, sooner or later you're going to regret not having it. And providing that kind of peace of mind is, I think, a really great thing for any MSP to be able to do. Cool.
And that's exactly, yep. we actually tell them that we're selling you an insurance policy here. We hope we don't have to use it, but if we do, it's a good insurance policy. So and it's very reasonable. So
exactly, kind of like earthquake insurance here in California.
That's why
you may not use it today, but sooner or later you're gonna wish you had it.
Right.
Cool. So the topic of today's session is like getting started on the right foot with BDR. So I kind of want to dive into when you initially deployed it, what were the key factors and considerations and methods that you used to ensure a seamless deployment? So how was the initial deployment set up? How did that work?
Well, so depending on the customer, and one of the things you have when you have meet a new customer or even an existing customer when you're having meetings with them is one of the questions is how painful would it be if your server was stolen, theft, fire, crash, whatever, how soon do you need to get back up? And so then we judge that as to if we need to deploy a local BDR with a cloud backup, or if we can just get away with the NOS and then a cloud backup. Right. And so that's how we make the determination how we're going to set it up, which way we're going to go, because obviously if you do an on-site BDR, it's going to be more expensive than just a NOS doing image backups. So.
Sure.
The cool thing about the eFolder product, of course, is you can tell them, hey, at worst case scenario, we can spin you up in the cloud, and you're, in the meantime, while we're getting you either a new server ready or whatever to drop an image onto, you at least have access to your data, and that's just a huge selling point.
Right. And then how did you initially set it up? I mean, did you take advantage of pre-seeding, or did you just back all of your clients' data up to the cloud, like through the internet, or how did that all work out?
Well, so with the eFolder, it's super simple. I mean, you basically just set up whatever local backup you're going to wherever you're going to send it to, and then eFolder sends you a C drive that you then copy that to that local backup to, and then send it back to them in a prepaid UPS secure container, and then they let you know when it's ready there, and they take the server out of what they call maintenance mode, and basically you start streaming to that seed that you had done just a few days earlier. So it's really simple.
Okay, cool. And then when it came to forgo clients who actually needed a BDR appliance, did you what did the timeline look like from when they signed the contract to when they have it all in place, and how long did that take, and what would you give any advice to other MSPs in terms of how to speed that up or make it more efficient?
Well, I think once you understand Shadow Protect and how it works, and it's really simple. And once you get the initial image, and you're just really doing, incremental changes to that initial image, and so you're, within one day, you're going to be up, you're going to be golden as far as having an image backup. So.
Okay.
And then you're going to be a few days away from getting it in the cloud, but again, you're still in really good shape as you move forward, and we're not talking about a lot of time here.
Right. And typically, when you walk into the client's offices, or you walk into them today, without a BDR appliance, what does their backup strategy look like? Do they have something like some kind of on-site backup and no off-site? Do they have nothing even on-site? Do they use tape? What kind of environments do you walk into?
Well, so when you walk into an environment, you see all kinds of stuff. You're going to see people not have any backups at all, unbelievably. You'll also see clients backing up to USB drives using Windows Backup. And then you'll see, guys actually doing, image backups of some sort. So, you're going to see all kinds of combinations. But again, we really don't care, because we're basically going to say, hey, this is what we do, this is what it costs, and if you want to go with us, this is what it's going to take for us to work together, because we pretty much insist upon it for our protection as well as theirs, mainly theirs, but I mean we want to protect ourselves too. So if there's ever a problem, right, we're instantly there, and we can take care of the problem. So.
Yeah, and do you encounter clients that already have like a BDR strategy in place? And if so, like how do you displace the other solution that they have in place?
Well, so we do. The only people we really see with BDRs in place are guys that maybe have signed up with and they're not really on-site BDRs. They've maybe signed up with a Cronus or something like that, and have a cloud strategy. But here's the problem with that. The first question you ask them is, have you verified that works? Do you know if that works? How do you know if your data is good? And every single time the person says, I have no idea, I just pay the bill. And so we're giving them a completely different animal here. We're saying, hey, we're going to take care of this. We're going to look at this daily for you. We're going to manage this for you. You have a problem, we're going to be there. We're going to restore it. You're not going to have to figure any of this out. And again, we're not trying to our cost factors are higher than what they're paying. They don't care once they hear that. Oh my goodness, I hadn't even thought about that aspect. What happens if something actually happened? So.
Yeah, I think it's important to not only make the promise like you're going to be protected, but actually explain, we're here for you, and here's exactly what we're going to do to assure you that it works and it will continue to work whenever needed.
Right.
Cool. So, sorry, just one more thing kind of that I thought of based on that is, have you ever explained and demonstrated the notion of a continuity cloud to your clients, and being able to virtualize the data if there were some kind of entire site emergency, or do you just kind of tell them that?
Well, we can actually demonstrate that. I mean, we can actually, with a laptop computer, I mean, you can virtualize a desktop and then spin it back up and show it to them and show, hey, this is the same principle with your server. I mean, you're gonna be able to spin this up and bring it back to life if it went away, and they get it. I mean, it's really easy stuff. It's not. I haven't had a customer yet that's gives you that look like, oh, I'm not sure what you're talking about. So.
What kind of voodoo magic are you doing here?
Right.
Cool. Awesome. So my next question is, what is your hardware strategy? So when you deploy a BDR, or even like a NAS, maybe if they don't have a ton of data to be backed up, do you typically sell them the appliance, or do you have them lease it from you? Do you have it as part of like a monthly managed services contract, or what?
Well, so our the actual hardware itself, we typically sell to them, whether it be a NOS or be a BDR. So that's a one-time cost to them. The recurring cost is obviously the cloud backup. If they're interested in that, but we don't really make it. If you're interested, we really make it. Hey, this is what you really need, and then we just add that to their managed service contract. And we do it on a per server basis. So we have some customers that just back up a single server, and we have some customers that are backing up 5 or 6 servers, and we're charging them on a per server basis. It then just becomes a monthly cost part of their managed service agreement.
Okay, got it. So the hardware itself, you just sell them like a one-time thing, and then the cloud storage component, you bill them monthly based on the number of servers that they need to back up.
Correct.
Okay. And with regard to like the actual BDR appliance, typically where do you source them from? Do you buy them from a vendor? Do you buy them from eFolder? Do you build them yourself? What is your preferred option there, and why?
So for our NOS, we always use Synology with WD Red drives. Just been a really again solid product. Synology's a good. They support their partners really well, so we've enjoyed doing business with them. As far as our when we do a BDR server, we're an Intel Gold partner, and we'll end up building an Intel server to spec depending on what we need. Typically on your BDRs, you need a bigger, you need more resources than you have on your primary server, just in case you need to spin that up. So. We'll just figure out what we need. We figure out, we figure out what the customer needs. We don't just go in there and start selling a BDR if all they really need is it's just a local image backup and a cloud backup. That's, it just really depends on the customer.
Yeah, and I guess it also matters, like what's the nature of the data that they need to back up. Is it something where they need a really robust BDR appliance? With a ton of RAM and a powerful CPU and all that, or do you guys just need a lower spec, more basic appliance? So that would probably also determine your cost, right?
Correct, yes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome. Darrell here has a question. have your close increased when you lead with BDR? Like, are you able to close more deals when you lead with BDR?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. I mean, yeah, without a doubt. It's such an easy discussion, and you take it completely away from technology. You take it and you put it back into the person you're calling on's business, and you're talking about their business. What happens to their business? It's not about technology anymore. It's about them thinking that thought process through instead. So without a doubt, it makes it really super easy. It also is a very easy thing to train your people to sell. All of our technicians, we have meetings once a week, and we constantly talk about, cloud backup, how important it is, what to look for if they're under HIPAA guidelines, if they're under SOX guidelines. This is something that, hey, that customer needs. They need to meet their requirements. They need to have this product. And our technicians feel good about presenting that to the customer because they're actually doing the customer service. They're not just selling them something.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of I feel like that's a good way to segue into our next question, or kind of our next few. So what is the best way, do you think, of educating your clients on the importance of business continuity? I mean, do they get it intuitively, or is it something that you need to kind of prod them about and really explain to them?
Well, I think it's something that you have to create a culture within your own MSP that you're constantly talking about that. You're constantly talking about that with your people. You're constantly talking about that with your customers, and then pretty soon, everybody's emulating what where the source is coming from, and and it's not just because you're trying to sell something. It's because it really is true. I mean, if you're really doing your customer service, you're trying to protect their business. You're not trying to you're not trying to get money from them. You're trying to get them in a good place so that, hey, you want them for a customer not for just today. You want them for a customer for 5 and 10 years from now. So.
Right. Yep. So since you adopted BDR Subject, have you seen your labor costs change? Have they hopefully gone down, or have they stayed the same, or what?
Well, I think they've gone down, and the main reason why is because you guys make it so easy to get these images and send them back to you. And then you're with your portal, the eFolder portal, we can just go in there daily and we can look if there's any kind of problems with a customer, and in one portal, one pane of glass, we can see all of our customers, and we can see if there's any kind of issues, problems, whatever. That's much easier than trying to figure out on a one-by-one basis, or that type of situation if you have issues. So I would say they've certainly gone down. And then we understand Shadow Protect so well. It's also, we can see if there's any kind of problems or issues there as well. But eFolder makes it very easy.
And when it comes to monitoring, I'm glad you brought that up. Which PSA and RMM tools do you use, and how do you determine which ones were the right ones for your MSP?
Well, so we've used AutoTask for years and years, and we've used LabTech for a few years now, and both of those integrate really well with this product, and so especially LabTech is a good fit with eFolder. So we're happy that it's worked with what we have, because obviously it's very painful if you switch PSAs, especially, and even switching RMMs is a major deal, and so it's worked out well in that regard.
Great. And kind of to finish off the discussion here, what are some general recommendations you would make to other MSPs getting started off with BDR, like deployment tips, or other pieces of advice that, oh shoot, like I shouldn't have done that, I hope nobody does that again, or, what advice can you provide the audience?
Well, I think you just pick your partners really well. Who's going to support you, who's going to be there and show you how to do this stuff. eFolder's been fantastic from the beginning. They were their onboarding process. I mean, they have a guy that's just dedicated to you and really helps you out. They also have a ton. I went through an hour with another young lady that gave me all kinds of sales collateral and stuff that we could put together so that we could white label this. We call it Rescue Stream. We don't call it eFolder. We don't call it Shadow Protect. We call it Rescue Stream. And so it's worked great for us as far as being able to white label it and not call it some brand that they've never heard of or they don't care about. Right. So that makes it simple. And it's really not hard to get started. It's really inexpensive these days, and you typically can make 50-point margins on this stuff. It's it's not like selling hardware. It's and the beauty of it's recurring. Once it's set up, it's just you just send an invoice every month and get a check. It's a really easy way to make money.
Cool. Yeah, and going back to the discussion about hardware, how you sell the hardware outright to your clients and then you sell the cloud storage per month. I mean, is that something that you would recommend other MSPs do, or do you see any reason why other MSPs might want to do like pay for the hardware over time? What would your advice be in that regard?
Well, that's just simply the way we chose to do it. I've seen the I've seen the models where you actually bundle the hardware and the service together. It's hardware is so inexpensive these days that it's just we just basically forget about that aspect of it and just sell the service.
Sure.
And so that's the way we chose to do it. I really have no advice which is the better model because I think either one of them works fine. It makes it easier for us just to figure the margins on what our services are. So
cool. Great, awesome. So just wanted to show this slide really quick. Jeff had provided us with this information before today. It looks like your gross margin is around 50%. So that's pretty great, nice and high. Cool. So before I go to this, do you use any specific like selling and marketing techniques? Not only in terms of when you go to the client site and you talk to them, but do you use any marketing techniques to get people excited about BDR or to inform them? What do you use, if anything?
Well, one thing that's been real successful for us is we've done this both word of mouth and a mail piece where we actually send it out in the mail, and it's basically talking about cloud backup and why it's important, and then the offer is that we'll install it for free. We're going to give you a free installation of it, and then all you have to do is pay the monthly cost thereafter. And we can show that as a value because typically it's going to take you an hour to 2 hours to set one up. We say it's a $200 value. And then we give a timeline there, and we run that every few months, and it's amazing how much people call up. Hey, I want to take advantage of that. I want to go ahead and get that. And even if like when we sell a new install of cloud, a lot of times we'll waive the installation fee as an incentive to get them, because we really don't care about the installation fee. We care about that month after month recurring revenue is what we care about, and building that. So
okay. Yeah, so that's interesting that you use obviously word of mouth, but then also you utilize snail mail, which I can get kind of a forgotten.
Yeah, we do it with a snail mail, and then we back it up with an email piece, so they see it twice. And that's an effective way to do it. We typically send out the snail mail first, and then we'll back
Sure.
that up about 3 or 4 days later with an email piece. And so it sort of clicks the second time when they see the email piece.
Cool. And yeah, for MSPs out there who maybe haven't done a lot of work in marketing, I mean, do you guys use something like MailChimp, or do you just send emails out through Outlook or Gmail or whatever, or what do you do?
Well, we use Yodel. It's a pretty
Yodel.
inexpensive. Yeah,
Cool.
that's a service. So that's been. We're also ASCII members. They have a complete. You can do that through ASCII. There's a lot of different guys out there that can help you out with that stuff, and that's really simple to do too.
Good. Okay, great. Yeah, just one thing I want to share briefly with the audience is something that we offer. We at eFolder called the eFolder Business Continuity Playbook, and really what this is it's a compilation of a bunch of different marketing and selling tools that you can use to get your clients informed about the need for business continuity, and get them to understand what all is included in a BDR solution. So in this, we've got brandable white papers, we've got pre-written blogs that we welcome you to literally just copy and paste onto your own blog. If you have one, if you don't, you should. We have a brandable ebook. We've got a video that you're welcome to, rebrand with your own branding. A brochure that we've put together in Word, so you can open it up yourself and edit it however you please, and then you've got a professional-looking brochure in under 15 minutes, and a lot more. So we're going to be sending out the Business Continuity Playbook as a small token for everyone who is attending today, and so hopefully you find that useful. Because we really want to make it as easy as possible for every MSP to not only adopt BDR from us, but then actively sell and market it to as many clients as possible. So now that we've kind of entered our Q&A section, one thing that I did want to mention that I haven't mentioned and that I don't really have any prepared slides for those of you who weren't able to join in on the call yesterday with eFolder CEO Kevin Hoffman, we are actually announcing some news with regard to eFolder BDR Shemtech. So starting June 1st, we signed an agreement with Shemtech where we're going to be offering a revamped offering that's a cloud-only augmentation to the Shemtech software that you use today. So for those of you who are starting June 1st, you're going to be able to source your Shemtech license from either SourceCraft or maybe a vendor like ConnectWise or Lifeboat. And then you're going to be able to tack on our world-class cloud backup solution to Shemtech. So that is going to be really a great value for anyone new coming into the ecosystem, because the new Shemtech cloud offering is going to offer a lot of things that we don't offer today. For example, we're able to now run Shemtech's image manager in the eFolder cloud, which allows for a number of different advantages, such as reduced bandwidth needs, no need to use the eFolder backup agent anymore for backing up the BDR appliance to the cloud. You're now able to do it with the image manager software stack, and a number of different things, like no longer having a need for a monthly consolidated backup, which will reduce a lot of the storage footprint in the cloud, and differential on-site and cloud retention policies, which again will hopefully let MSPs save money. So for those of you who already, like Jeff, who already have Shemtech bundle pricing, you're going to be able to keep that exactly as it is right now with no change in your pricing or capabilities or anything else. If you want, Jeff and other partners are going to be able to migrate to the new ShopTech solution where you still keep the same pricing that you're already paying right now. There's no increase at all, but we're going to be able to migrate you to running Image Manager in the cloud, which will give you the benefits that I just mentioned, like differential retention policies, um, and hopefully lower costs with cloud backup, but still, again, with the same exact pricing that you're paying today. And starting June 1st, you're going to be able to source your ShopTech licenses from elsewhere, because we're not going to be selling them to you, but then you're going to be able to come to eFolder and have that cloud backup. It will be a single point of support. Even if you source the ShopTech licenses from somewhere else, we'll be able to source or to support the whole thing, the whole enchilada for you. So I just wanted to make that clear for those of you who are considering ShopTech. So before June 1st, you're able to buy the whole enchilada from us, and after June 1st, you'll be able to get the cloud only from us. And again, for those of you who already have BDR ShopTech, you're able to continue as you already have it with no increase in your price or anything like that. So let's look here at the question log. Looks like we don't have anything new in the log ever since Jarrell's question. Let's see. Yeah, looks like there's no real questions here. Feel free to put them into the question log, and we'll try to get to them in the few minutes that we have left. Otherwise, I mean, Jeff, is there anything more that you want to add to the audience?
Not really. I mean, it's your product's excellent, and we appreciate it. And you do a good job for us, so we appreciate that.
Cool. Cool. Okay, one question here from Eric. Do our reps have any pricing on the cloud-only offering that is coming? So we will be providing more information about the pricing of the cloud-only offering that's coming. We haven't yet released that to partners or prospects, but that information will be coming, and we'll be sharing that with all of you as June 1st approaches. So no need to fret. We're working on it, and we'll share it out with you as soon as we can. Similar question from Daniel. Yeah, again, we will be sharing the pricing information with you shortly. We don't have anything to share today. That is coming, definitely coming. And if you're an eFolder partner right now, your account manager will send that to you. If you're not, you'll probably be getting an email blast from us as soon as we have that information ready. Yeah, but I do want to mention that we don't anticipate the overall cost of it going up if you're already using the bundled solution. We think it'll be probably around the same price. Just again, we will be selling the license from our end. Let's see, Maurice asks, you guys didn't touch much on SQL. Does eFolder have good integration with SQL Server? Good question. I personally do not know the answer to that, but what I will do is I'll write that down, and I'll have one of our sales engineers get me an answer, and we'll get that to you, Maurice, as soon as we can. But good question. All right. Well, it seems like we are out of questions. But again, if you do have any follow-up questions that you weren't able to think of or weren't able to get answered today, please feel free to email me or connect with me on LinkedIn. But I'm just going to go ahead and sign off for now. But first off, a huge thank you to Jeff for contributing his time and his expertise and knowledge. So thank you so much, Jeff, for taking the time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And yep. And to everyone who attended today, thank you for your time. And again, email me if you have any further questions. But for now, this is Miraj Periwal signing off from San Francisco, California. Hope you all have a great rest of your week and a good weekend. And thank you so much again for joining us today. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye.